Copenhagen Wolves took on Gambit in the 5th-6th decider match at the end of the European playoffs.
Our players were pretty brutal.
Very slow games where neither team almost dared to make any kind of move.
We won the first game, we came in late game, crushed Gambit.
Amazing passes on him, gets a double kill for Coutard, and just like that, the Copenhagen Wolves bully them off the Baron.
When we went to the second game, it also started well, but then we started making some mistakes. Then Gambit, as an experienced team, managed to snowball on these mistakes.
Gambit find a team fight that just switches on.
It's a triple kill, he's going to go towards it, Forgiven goes down, it's a quadra, can they get the penta on Youngberg? One more shot, it's a pentakill from Genja!
That was the moment where you felt Gambit have regained control.
Third game, people were somewhat tilted. We didn't really use our preparation, and overall just got demolished.
They're going to keep chasing on this one. Alex comes on the side, blows half of his health away.
If you just look in the Gambit's players' faces, they were playing for their lives as well.
No one wants to be the defeated one in a match like that. Afterwards, Diamond came in and he said that he's sorry for sending us to relegation, but he'll look forward for us to win the relegation match and play again in LCS.
That they showed that they also think that we belong in the LCS really meant a lot to us. So hopefully we will actually honor what they want and stay in the LCS.
Welcome back everyone for the second half of Day 2 of the European Summer Promotion Tournament. I'm Joe Miller, along with Martin Deficio Lunga, and we are going into the Copenhagen Wolves, who are about to face DNL in a best of 5 to see which team will grab a spot in the LCS. Yes. If I can get my letters out there, it's all good. It's also worth noting that the Copenhagen Wolves have been in this position before when they beat Meet Your Makers 3-1 at the 2014 Spring Promotion Tournament to qualify for the LCS. Well, the question is, can they do it again here?
Well, they should be the favorites at least. The Wolves, though, they find themselves on the opposite end of the promotion tournament this time around. Last time they were the strongest team in the tournament, but after a season of ups and downs, they find themselves as one of the bottom 3 teams and therefore fighting to stay in the league.
The biggest issue for the team is the fact that they cannot close out games, even when they have significant leads. That was demonstrated just a week ago in that 5th place match against Gambit. After a long, drawn-out Game 1 victory, the Wolves were off to a great start in Game 2 as well. But then it went south for them, despite having Youngbuck on Rise, a champion that only gets better the longer the game goes on. They found themselves falling to the Genja pentakill, the first that we've seen so far in the split, by the Baron pit, which ended the match.
And even when Gambit played safe and fell into the lengthy game style that the Wolves are used to, the Wolves just could not seem to pull back from a mid-game disadvantage and therefore lost Game 3 right after 45 minutes. And the Wolves, they need to make sure they pick strong team fighting comps, otherwise their late game problems when it comes to closing out games might become an issue today.
I want to talk about Forgiven because he's been one of the most reliable players for the Wolves, but his high death toll is something to be concerned about, I think. Whether it's because teams will focus him in fights or if he's just dying too often to put out the DPS needed to win a fight. If their style is going to rely on farming up Forgiven to win in that late game, his death toll really needs to drop.
Yeah, well, Forgiven, he does style a lot, but he's still among the best AD carries we have here in Europe. I mean, his partnership with Unlimited in the bot lane works really well, and they always focus on getting ahead in farm and then pushing down early on the enemy tower. Forgiven, he's been the target to shut down for most teams by either banning him out or ganking him early, which also helps explain his high amount of deaths. Copenhagen Wolves, though, they really need him for the late-game team fights because we often see him go for 6 damage items and then rely on his team to protect him while he just melts everyone and wins the fight for the Copenhagen Wolves.
We have to give credit, though, to the Copenhagen Wolves for their objective control. They are the best team in the league, especially when it comes to Dragons, with 92 during the season, and DNL will need to focus on keeping the Wolves away from that gold-bearing Drake.
Copenhagen Wolves have always been great at securing objectives on the map, which may be due to Amazing or the lane swaps they like to pull off, because they were one of the few European teams who actually showed good lane swaps. And as a team, they've been lane swapping the entire season. If DNL makes a mistake in those rotations early on, then the Wolves will punish them and will most likely take an early dragon. And it's something we actually saw them do against Alliance here in the playoffs.
And as a challenger team coming into this game, DNL face a significant obstacle in the veteran Copenhagen Wolves, and the road to the LCS for them will most likely begin with their jungler Kikis.
Yeah, DNL reminds me a lot of the Copenhagen Wolves because their early game is controlled by the jungler, and the AD carry Woolite is the person they rely on in the late game teamfights to carry. Both Babunia in the top lane and Nick in the mid lane are good players, but they don't shine and win their lane by themselves, much like Youngbok and Coulthard. And Nick in the mid lane, he loves to play the poke carry champions, which really fits in the current meta, so I expect Nidalee to be a ban from the Wolves, as it's one of Nick's best champions and really fits into the DNL playstyle with heavy poke and siege.
And there is one thing that DNL has over the other teams, however. Their top lane in Babunia draws a large amount of Dr. Mundo bans specifically. His results when the Doctor actually slips through, just explain why that is so.
Yeah, I mean, it could definitely be a ban today, and the Babunia versus Youngbok matchup is going to be a tricky one to predict. Both favors the split pushing champions here, but we haven't seen Babunia play Jack yet, which Youngbok really shined on against Alliance in the playoffs. And both these top laners, they got their special picks as well. Babunia, he played Jarvan against Cloud9. Didn't really work.
No.
In the Challenger semifinals. And Youngbok, of course, pulled out both the Donger and Vladimir. So no matter what happens in the games against the Copenhagen Wolves, then we also have to highlight, of course, that DNL has put their own stamp on the Challenger scene. They took out the top seed Cloud9 Eclipse and played against Ninjas in Pyjamas in the final for the first half of the Challenger series. So they could upset the Wolves here and become the second Polish team in the LCS, because Rocket, of course, is already qualified.
Well, Forgiven will be a definite target in this match, but the Wolves' former sub Woolite could also prove to be a thorn in their side. With all of that attention on the bot lane, you can count on a rumble in the jungle between Amazing and Kikis.
I think weak points of Copenhagen are the solo lanes.
The AD carry of DNL used to be our sub.
Woolite is potentially even the star of the team.
We know his playstyle, we know how he plays. He's a pretty good AD carry, but we have much better.
I think Forgiven is the strongest point of the team, so if we just don't let him get fed, I think we should win.
Amazing is playing quite well, and maybe this is the best point of them. The good jungler who can carry the game.
The key factor for me is just being sure about your picks, being sure about what you want to accomplish within the pick and ban phases, and be sure about how you want to counter their potential playstyle.
I think Polish players are really strong, and I think we can do it. Last time we got to play Media Makers, who was also a Polish team, so we figured we have a pretty good win record against Polish teams in the relegations.
We are stronger than we were in the playoffs. We've been bootcamping a lot, we've improved, and we've got some new tactics to bring on.
Even though we are underdogs, I think we're gonna beat them.
The DNL gaming might just get denied their access to LCS.
Some strong words there, even though
Yep.
underdogs were going to beat them, and that they've got something special tactically prepared. That's the interesting part for me.
100%. I mean, if there's one thing from my own personal experience as well, Polish teams, when it comes to these best out of threes, best out of fives, always prepare something. We saw it with Rocket in the playoffs, surprising people. DNL, they can do the same here.
Well, we're getting close to the game, so let's check out the starting lineups. On the blue side, it's the Copenhagen Wolves with Youngbok in the top lane, Amazing in the jungle, Coulthard in the mid lane, and the duo of Forgiven and Unlimited.
And on the red side, it's the DNL Esport with Babunia in the top lane, Kikis in the jungle, Nick in the mid lane, Woolite is the AD carry, and Super Ace is the support.
So let's turn our eyes to the jungle for our featured matchup in this series, which of course will be Amazing against Kikis. We've already talked about Amazing for quite some time, since he did win 2 MVPs during the spring split, but the jungler hasn't been making the biggest impact as of late. Now the Wolves will really want to be in amazing shape coming into this promotion tournament, and it all starts with him.
Yeah, and Amazing has stopped playing Lee Sin here in 4.5, as there are so many options in the jungle now. We saw him play Evelynn, Ting Zhao, and Kha'Zix in the playoffs, which is the junglers I expect him to play here, with the possible addition of Elise and maybe Nocturne. All the champions, they share the same style, they're very strong in ganks, fights and pressure on the map, and we always talk about how Amazing is the key to the early game for Copenhagen Wolves, and today is no different. Kikis from DNL is a strong jungler himself, so we need to see if Amazing can shut him down and help out his rather weak solo laners.
And Kikis needs a good start to the game to allow DNL to get the ball rolling. If he's been playing something uncomfortable or starts off on the wrong foot, DNL's entire team suffers.
100% agree. And Kikis as a player, he plays a lot of the standard junglers in the current meta, and the only different pick I would expect from him could actually be Master Yi. We haven't seen much Master Yi except for in solo queues, so it might catch the Wolves off guard actually. And looking back at their games from the Challenger Series, then DNL isn't a team who wins their lanes by themselves. They again, much like Copenhagen Wolves, rely on Kikis or the jungler to make plays and snowball the early game.
So let's, as we get towards Champions League, focus a little bit more on the picks and the bans here. We already mentioned that Nidalee is a champion that Nick likes to play. Funnily enough, the Copenhagen Wolves in their last 10 games have banned Nidalee every single game.
Definitely expect a Nidalee ban. Could even see DNL banning away the Jax from Youngbuck because Babunia haven't seen him played.
Yeah, we're going to find out here then as we get into picks and bans, figure out exactly how this one is going to be going down. The Wolves, of course, on the blue side, the higher seed from coming from the LCS into promotion. What will they ban away first here against DNL? Team which I think are definitely the underdogs in this one, but you can never count an underdog team out. Twisted Fate was the first ban coming out there, and obviously Twisted Fate has been becoming more and more and more popular, and rightly so. He's very strong right now.
Very good champion at the moment, good at quick rotations, he can split push, good wave clear of course, and also against an assassin you can bring this exhaust here, help shut down their assassin in the laning phase, so it's a very strong pick, very versatile as well.
So Karma was the first ban of this one for DNL. Obviously we have seen quite a lot of Karma actually for the Copenhagen Wolves. They played him in, or they played her, because you know, Karma is in fact a girl, against Alliance in the first 2 games in their playoff game. Ban number 2 here for the Wolves, Nidalee. We thought that Nidalee would get banned, and that is the case again.
We talked about it. It's so annoying to play against the Nidalee. Like, if you fall behind, he starts poking away. There is nothing worse. So they banned away, and it was expected. I mean, again, Nick is a very strong Nidalee player. I expect to see it banned pretty much all the games.
So Jax then, the second ban for DNL, you mentioned that as well. Youngbuck has already played the Jax. Actually, Babunia did play it in Game 2 against Reason in the Challenger Finals, where they, of course, or in the Challenger third place game as it actually was. But, you know, one game here or there, obviously, someone like Youngbuck can make such a massive impact, and to be honest, Jax is just so strong right now.
Jax is one of the best top laners at the moment, and he's one of the top laners who can really snowball a game. Get a good start here, nobody can one-on-one you, you can just split push all day long. So I like the fact they banned away. Also show some respect to Youngbuck here, who of course pulled bans from Jax throughout the playoffs after he pulled it out in Game 1 against Alliance and just dominated that game.
So Orianna here.
Really targeting against Nick.
An interesting ban as well, because they've not played Orianna once throughout the entire Challenger Series. From every single game they've played, they've not played a single Orianna in there, which tells you that they've probably been playing a lot of Orianna in scrims.
100%, and Copenhagen Wolves completely target Nick here. They want to shut him down. Could even first pick a mid laner now to potentially move him further away from his comfort zone. But look what DNL actually did. Banned away 2 of the supports. We have not seen Thresh from Unlimited yet.
Yeah.
In the LCS. It's not a champion he's been playing. It could be one for DNL here, and they know, of course, he's not playing it. So now they force him on to something he's probably not been too used to. And also for Copenhagen Wolves, whenever Unlimited he plays Leona, he's always very good on the engages. He's very strong for the team to set everything up. Now it's gone.
Interestingly enough, the first pick here was actually jungler for Amazing. Kha'Zix left open. I'm going to skip straight over to DNL's picks here as well. Ziggs for that mid lane with such heavy mid lane focus.
Yeah, very
and
smart.
taking Lucian as well for Walleye.
2 very strong picks for DNL here. Both are great laners, of course. They take the Ziggs for the mid laner with all the bans from Copenhagen Wolves. I wouldn't say they're going to waste the Copenhagen Wolves bans because they get Ziggs here for him. Obviously, it was still the plan for the Wolves, but it's a very good early pickup as there's so many bans towards him.
Rising Graves, the return of Graves really these last couple of weeks becoming more and more popular. We'll see Forgiven on that one, and that is his favourite champion actually. He said often that he'd really love to play Graves, but he has to be stronger. Apparently he is now strong enough for him to be bringing Graves out in such an important game.
Lucian is considered the overall best AD carry, and Graves against Lucian, it's a skill matchup. Like it can go either way in the laning phase. I do favor Lucian when it comes to the real late game part, but then when it comes to the early mid game, Graves can definitely do a lot of damage back here to Lucian. So in that case, I like the pick, and also because it's going to be harder for DNL to kill Graves here, because when people dive onto him, with his passive, of course, extra MR, extra armor, becomes very beefy and very hard to kill.
Rice also picked up for the Copenhagen Wolves. We'll see if that goes top lane, which I'm expecting it will. Youngbuck has played Quite a lot of Rise, of course, against Gambit. The 2 games, funnily enough, that they lost was Rise in the top lane. Babunia also plays Rise, so not only a pick, but denying that away from Denial. And on the last, the second and third, sorry, wait. The third and the fourth, I can count, honestly. Elise and Thresh, the third and fourth picks here for Denial.
So the expected support here for Denial, seeing as they banned away both Karma and Leona, got the Thresh here for Super Ace, and then Elise. We've seen her so many times, there's not really anything new to say. Overall, very, very strong, good objective control, slightly nerfed of course, good in a lane swap early on. Same goes for Lucian here. So Denial, if they get a lane swap, they can be very fast at pushing down towers.
Final 2 picks for the Copenhagen Wolves, Kassadin and Soraka being picked up. So Soraka support here for the Copenhagen Wolves. Not something that we've been seeing really at all. We've seen in the mid lane mostly, in the top lane a couple of times, but bringing out the support. And that's what you mentioned, they banned Karma and Leona. Really, it's only been then the likes of Annie, who's just not really favoured right now, and Morgana. They're the 2 other real go-to supports he's had, but this is a new one coming out for Unlimited.
So I like the idea here because Denial, they bring a lot of poke. Like they got the Ziggs, they got the Lucian, even Elise here can poke away. That's where Soraka is going to be very, very strong. Get into the mid-late game part. Soraka's support is also scales well into late game, can heal up a team, avoid some of this poke here from Denial, where of course the Morgana would only have the Black Shield to stop it from 1. Soraka, more sustain, I like the pick. And at the same time, you get this, you can reduce the MR of course, Denial, and then you bring both Kassadin and Rise to the table, you can just do the extra damage. So the whole comp here from Copenhagen Wolves really want to focus on team fights, where they can be very, very strong. Split pushing wise, it can be hard for him. I mean, yes, Rise he can split push, but against the Dr. Mundo he won't really be able to kill him. It can be a bit of a farm lane in favor of Rise at least, and Rise again coming into team fights is going to be so hard to deal with for Denial. And that's the issue for Denial here. If they don't get some poke in before the fight starts, I simply think Copenhagen Wolves are going to be too beefy. Kassadin as well. Likes to build a bit tanky. Rod of Ages can even go Randy and Zoman here. His damage is not the same as the old Kassadin, but he can still, in longer fights, he can then chase afterwards. He can become very tanky. The Grace, we talked about how he gets armor, he gets MR. So Copenhagen Wolves, with Soraka support as well, going to sustain these fights, like out-sustain Denial. And Denial, if they don't land some good poke before they engage, I don't actually see them winning the fight. I think Copenhagen Wolves are going to be too tanky.
Yeah, Babunia getting through there, which we said in the pre-game, been a lot of bans towards him. He'll get his hands on it this time around. Well, guys, with this series just about to begin, let's check in and see who you predict's going to win. According to LOLesports.com, you've chosen the Copenhagen Wolves by 79%. That is a large number, I think, despite them being the favorites.
Yeah, but again, look at it here. Copenhagen Wolves are supposed to be the strongest of the LCS teams coming into the promotion tournament. Denial are supposed to be the weakest one. We have Super Hot Crew and Millennium both qualifying, the 2 old LCS teams here. So of course Copenhagen Wolves are gonna be the favorites, but you can never count out a team like Denial. I wouldn't even be surprised to see 4 or 5 games here.
Well, we are apparently the caster pair that gets these 5-game matches, these 5-game epic matches. So we can only hope that we go into all 5 games in this one. We're going to get now, though, into game number 1 with the Copenhagen Wolves taking on Denial. We'll see who can draw the first blood in this best-of-5 series and take the first step closer to the summer split.
So first of all here, we see Super Ace starting full wards and then health potions. We saw Miffy do it yesterday. Whenever NIP wanted to do level 1 tactics, so I want to go in and try and get an extra buff for them, they started with full ward here on the support. Super Ace been doing the same. We could potentially see Denial try something. Could maybe go here, early ward up the blue buff, and then rotate around to the red buff and try and steal it away from the Copenhagen Wolves. Lane swap wise, we talked a little bit about it in Champ Select, how Denial with both Lucian and the Elise can actually push towers very fast, so I wouldn't surprise to see Denial trying to lane swap this one.
And the Copenhagen Wolves have been lane swapping before it was even cool.
Oh yes.
So, wouldn't surprise me to see something from their side of things. As we see right now, though, the initial, the first blood of ward kills goes over to Denial. They saw that Unlimited put that one down by the Death Brush. Slightly strange positioning for a ward to put it there where he did rather than in the brush itself. Either way, they saw it, so they were going to clear it out anyway with that pink ward. Also got one ward down by the blue buff of the Copenhagen Wolves.
Full vision control from Denial here early. They're going to see Copenhagen Wolves if they want to go in towards the blue buff. Going to see them if they want to go towards the red buff. That's why Copenhagen Wolves are just staying back. playing a little bit scared now. They're actually pinging towards the blue buff. We could see a late invade. Of course, again, DNL is going to spot it and can quickly go over to the Copenhagen Wolves blue buff and just trade them. Remember though, when it comes to supports here, if they do get 2v2, there's no item on Super Ace, so he's going to be slightly weaker than normal.
Beat down by Bananas in the end. Unlimited running here, the exhaust. Just want to point that out because Super Ace is in fact running an Ignite here. So
wow,
we've not seen many supports going with that Ignite. It's been exhaust or
but
heal.
It's simply because Soraka support, you got Summoner heal Unforgiven. Like, you need something to burn down a target. Again, we talked about how Denial, if it's these long, drawn-out fights, it's going to be very hard for them because, again, Copenhagen Wolves are going to be very tanky, going to have Soraka to heal people up. So they need this Ignite to find the first target, ignite him, and just burst the first target down, kill them, and then move on and chase after Copenhagen Wolves.
So we are seeing these buff trades going on. Ward from Denial will spot Youngbuck and Amazing going over to the blue. Kikis has already started off this blue buff and will finish that within quick timing as well. Babunia, meanwhile, is just doing the Wolves. He's trying to get himself a little bit of XP, knowing that he's going into a 2v1 anyway. The likelihood of him actually getting anything is pretty slim.
We can see if he wants to teleport to the top lane and help pushing down with 4 members up here. Remember, of course, top lane tower takes less damage than the bottom lane, so they could actually use him to push it down faster because Copenhagen Wolves already moved Youngbuck down here, so they're going to be 4 members and they're going to push in the wave here with Soraka and Graves, and they're going to be very far ahead compared to the top lane.
Now that's a 2-wave stack as well down the bottom coming in, so this is a 4-man push. We can see that Kikis is recalling actually, so he's not going to help out. Super Ace and Warlight obviously feel like they're going to lose this trade anyway with 4 men already down on the weaker bot lane turret.
Look here, Babunia went all the way to the top lane, didn't teleport or anything, so he's running from the base to get to his tower. Copenhagen Wolves already killed the bottom tower here. They can actually push it all the way up to the next one. Super Ace recalled, and Kiki's recalled to try and defend it.
Are we going to see Youngbuck go up to that top lane? Yep, there it is. There is the teleport actually coming in. So the Copenhagen Wolves getting that first tower, and Denial not able to really do anything about that one. Kikis and Super Ace down here. Actually, Kikis taking a lot of damage so far. Unlimited just right up on top of him there, throwing down those auto attacks and the star calls. And obviously that buckshot does hurt already from Forgiven. That means that the Copenhagen Wolves have themselves a healthy gold lead already.
Yeah, and a bit of a who got limited and ignited.
That was a little bit too deep for him. He's going to go down. It's the first blood that lands to Kikis, and that was just not what they needed at this stage of the game. They'd done it all right up until that point.
Yeah, Unlimited simply overextended, and then the hook from Super Ace landed onto him, and double buff release. And the ignite we talked about from Super Ace shut down this one target they actually get onto. Just picked up the first blood. Sloppy play by Unlimited, but still, the lane swap went in favor of Copenhagen Wolves. Denial. As soon as they spotted 4 members and nobody, either the jungler or Babunia, were actually close to the tower for them, they just gave up on the race here. But Amazing, going towards Babunia.
Not going to kill him though, because Youngbuck was actually just going, actually turns around there, jumps back onto him. Babunia getting a little bit more damage than I think he really calculated was going to happen to him from that side of things. Unlimited, of course, respawning in here, and he's going to be putting down a few wards on that bottom side of the map.
Could be a target now for Kikis once again. No summoners, of course. There's the Lantern from Super Ace to set everything up. Amazing, meanwhile, still a bit in top lane. 2 wards though, so it's going to be very hard for him to do anything, and they can't really dive Babunia yet. It's sadly too early in the game. However though, back to the lane swap thing, it seemed to me like Denial came in without a plan. Like, they were the ones swapping to top lane, but they didn't send Kikis up there fast enough. He actually went to the wolf camp after blue, and Babunia, he ran all the way from base, didn't teleport. So instantly, as Copenhagen Wolves showed in the bottom lane, they just had to recall and actually gave up a tower and got nothing in return. So it's a bit of a weird start.
And that's one thing, as the hook comes out there, doesn't quite connect. One thing that you could expect playing the Copenhagen Wolves, the team that were doing the switches before the switches were the thing to do. They do it here, and Denial didn't react to that whatsoever. Got themselves first blood though, so that's going to get Kikis rolling a little bit. You see that he's level 5 already.
And already down the bottom lane. Again, no summoners onto Unlimited. 1 hook, and he's gonna be the target. Still staying very healthy under the tower. Denial though want to try and fast push this one. Remember, at least he's a ranged jungler, so he can get some good damage on the tower. Still gonna be hard to take it down. Amazing also coming down here in the jungle. Should be able to defend the next wave.
And they 3-on-2 there, but the minions being wiped out, which means Denial have to back away. Will Amazing try to get involved on this one? Limited is stood up there. The Flay actually landing onto Forgiven, but he will simply quick draw away from that one. Now the next wave coming in. This is the chance for Denial to keep going. They actually land the hook onto Amazing. It's going to be some good damage coming his way there. And Amazing finds himself with hardly any HP. They've cleared out that wave, but you see how low that tower is there. One more wave and that will go down for Denial.
Full focus on this tower here for Denial. Kick has been here for the last minute, just pushing the wave in every single time. They can take it here in the next one. Amazing is gone, he's back in base. It's only Forgiven and Unlimited to clear. And Forgiven, he won't be able to one-shot the wave.
Let's see, it's going to be within killing range. You see that Woolite actually trying to soak up as much of those minions as he can. Finishes off the tower there as actually Forgiven started to push out a little bit. Takes a Lantern back to safety, and that will tie us up in turrets. Plus the first blood gold going over to Denial. They have now a 300 gold lead.
Yeah, very quick response from Denial. Also using the advantage of having stronger champions in a fight early on. His Rock, of course, doesn't bring too much early in the game, so that's why they could just push it down, and Copenhagen Wolves could never engage onto them. Amazing showed up, got a lot of poke in the face. Nick here in the mid lane, taking a lot of poke as well from Kauton, who of course got his ultimate now, can jump around, very hard to gank, and very annoying to play against. Like, nobody likes to play against the Kassadin.
Well, the fact is that those earlier levels where Nick basically has free harassment onto Kauton is where he should have really been bullying him out there, but Kauton's ahead in the CS here.
So the thing is, Kassadin, after the rework, are actually not too bad in the laning phase against mages because of his Q where he gets the magic shield.
True.
So he used it well to get all the farm, of course, get some poke onto Nick and also farm well and just stay healthy. Of course, with the flask in his inventory as well, could use it, get some health pots and just farm away. And Kauton's been doing a very good job so far.
See, 70 CS for him, got himself that blasting one, and the T are already stacking up, so he's going to be moving into an early Archangel staff by the looks of it. Again, moves forward with Kazik, coming down from that one. Good ward though on the ramp will spot Amazing at that early stage. He just put a ward over towards red, but that was already taken. Kikis already beating Amazing to that one.
Let's see here, just putting in a deep ward. Red buff is not up yet. Of course, Kikis started the blue buff, so it's going to be a little time before it spawns, but Amazing still staying around. Can also go in for a gank to Nick in the mid lane. But meanwhile, Denial just starting this dragon here because they spotted Amazing.
Dragon already down to half HP. See that Amazing and Kauton starting to move down a little bit to this one, but I think they're going to be too late. First dragon of the game going to go over to Denial. Are they going to try and follow through from it though? Kauton at the backside, Amazing on the flank as well, but they were simply outnumbered from that one. Wouldn't have been a wise choice for them to keep going.
But a very fast rotation from Denial here. They spotted Amazing going towards the top side of their jungle. Instantly just went down for the dragon. Copenhagen Wolves was slow to react, gave it up for free, got nothing in return. Very good strategy from Denial, except for the lane swap. They've just been first punished the Soraka pick by going bot lane and get the tower, and then now the dragon.
To be fair, I mean, if you look at those towers and how that all ended up, despite Denial not pushing fast on that top, they're actually ahead because they did a lot of damage onto this top turret, plus they've already got that bottom tower. Now they've got the dragon on top of that one as well. Kauton again, just trying to bully Nick as much as he can in this mid lane. Nick got himself the chalice, so he's able to spam out, especially now with that blue buff on his side as well.
Still though, for Denial's side, they really want to make sure they can extend the lead here early on, because we always talk about how strong Ryze is when it comes to late game teamfights. We talk about Kha'Zix as a jungler. Kassadin, of course, still very good in the late game. So it can be hard for Denial going into the late game fights. And that's also why they put so much focus on these early objectives. And ooh, flash away from Youngbuck.
Quite late as well on the flash there. He didn't expect Kikis to actually be sat in that brush. The ward going straight down on top of him. No summoner here for Youngbuck, and we do see that Super Ace is starting to move forward. Amazing is actually inside of the tri-bush here. The question is, do they know that he's actually there? Babunia going to get locked up for a second. Have they got enough damage to finish him off? Amazing going to get burst back down. The Wish actually coming in there from Unlimited down in that mid lane will be enough to keep them alive, but they bit off far more than they could chew there.
But I really like the fact, or the way Denial play with this Elise pick here. Just pushing towers all the time. Like now he moved to the top lane, getting a lot of damage from range onto the tower here with Babunia, of course. Copenhagen was tried to defend it, got in here, but Amazing once again was forced to go back after he tried to defend the tower. Kick is remaining up in top lane, and now Woolite rotated into the mid lane because the bottom lane is already pushing in his favor and getting a lot of damage there. So Denial, very fast rotations around the map, always getting a lot of damage on these towers.
Forgiven just threw his ultimate out there to try and stop them, but honestly not doing all that much damage here at this stage, and they're now going to try and collapse in on this mid lane, but again a good ward there inside of that Death Brush will spot the Copenhagen Wolves moving to this mid lane, which means that Nick and Woolite won't be in any real dangers of going down. They've got Thresh as well, Super Ace to come over and give them that extra cover, and in the end it's that tower again that Denial have done good work on.
And Denial again, they can really siege on a tower because the wave clear from Copenhagen Wolves is not the best. They can get the wave cleared here, but Graves, short range on his box shot. He needs to get very close to the minions. Kassadin, the same thing if he wants to clear it. Youngbuck can use his ultimate, and of course Soraka needs also to be around the minions with a Q to actually clear them away. So Denial, with both Elise, Ziggs and Lucian, can just force them away with poke and just get down these towers very, very fast. Copenhagen Wolves are not able to clear the waves.
Cocoon landed in there as well, and to forgive him, but he wasn't the kill that they were looking for. They wanted that tower. That'll be their second of the game. The top tower is down to, I think, around about half HP as well, so that's pretty much for the taking if they do send that squad up there. If we look at the farm as well, Babunia on Mundo done a great job so far, been constantly having to pop that ultimate to get his regen going on, but it's 93 to 86 CS, and overall in the gold is 300 gold or 200 gold in his favor.
As long as he stays even in farm, gets tanky for the teamfight, it's fine for him. Shutting down a Ryze 1v1 is very hard for Dr. Mundo, so he just want to farm here. It's what he's been doing well. Kigis once again is in the top lane. It's the last outer turret. It's very, very low. You talked about it earlier, how they got some hits first. Now the second time they came, got even more damage to it. It's just a matter of time before they get this tower, unless Copenhagen Wolves can react to it. Counter though, one thing we actually didn't talk about is the fact he decided to bring Ignite. Normally, or often, with Kassadin, you see them take Teleport, especially when you have Teleport as well on your top laner, so you have this double global here. Decided though to go with the Ignite for more kill potential, and also works really well against both Dr. Mundo and the double heal here, so he was most likely forced into this Ignite.
So Kiki's gonna go invade the blue buff. Of course, his was stolen away there by Kautard. Shouldn't be too much of a problem for him. Uses his smite there just to aid Nick, and he will pick that one up. We've got 1 minute and 15 seconds to go until the dragon comes back into play. The first one taken cleanly and easily by Denial. No challenge was put up by the Copenhagen Wolves the first time around.
But this time again here, they actually move Soraka to the top lane simply to defend the tower. They don't want this big wave to come in here with multiple members from Denial and just taking down the tower. They want to defend it. Youngbuck needs it to continue farming away. Dragon is going to spawn here in about 47 seconds, so Copenhagen Wolves need to make sure they're ready for this one. This is where they can get a team fight going, and they just need to make sure they can actually go in before all the poke from Denial lands onto them.
Very precise when you said about 47 seconds.
Yeah, I know, I was about to say 45 seconds and I realized I might as well just say 47 seconds.
We knew what it was all about, it's all good. Half a minute though now until that dragon comes up. We see that Youngbuck is recalling. Don't forget that both top laners are using teleport as well in this game, so we could see them moving straight down to that dragon area should they be called for. They've already got Super A's at the dragon itself. Pink ward in position. Kikis and Woolite are both headed down. This ward at the blue will spot them coming in. This is going to be the signal for the Wolves to start moving forward.
Yeah, Youngbuck decided not to actually use his teleport. He decided to run there with his team. Already started up by Denial though. Copenhagen Wolves need to be very fast.
Already down to less than half, but Denial have actually come away from it. Amazing, of course, can jump in there. We see the pink ward being attacked as the hook lands on towards Unlimited. TP coming in the back. Mundo's going to be right in the middle of them as the bomb comes through. He catches Unlimited. Very, very low, but Babunia falling low as well. Amazing got his ultimate running. Is he going to go down? Yes, he is. It's Woolite that picks up that one. Youngbuck will cage up Babunia, but the chase is back on here in favor of Denial. They're going to keep going. Kautard though, he's casting it after all. He's in this perfect position to maybe mop up those low HP players. In the end, it's only really Kikis that's low, and they pick up the dragon for a second time.
And Copenhagen Wolves invested all their damage and focus onto Babunia in the start of the fight. Ignite, everything was onto him, but he managed to get out of the fight, flashed away, and then he survived it. So all the damage from Copenhagen Wolves there actually did nothing for them. Instead, Denial could turn it around and pick up a kill. Notice the fight here, teleport behind him. Also, look at the ultimate here from Nick. Hitting multiple members of Copenhagen Wolves. Babunia is the target. Ignited, flash away. Amazing chases for the kill, but he's just going to regen through this one. He survives it. He'll heal, Summoner heal as well. Then Amazing is just going to go down. From here on, Copenhagen Wolves are not able to chase. Amazing went in a little bit too deep. And then Super Ace can get away. And that's simply it. I mean, Copenhagen Wolves invested everything onto the Dr. Mundo. Didn't get him down. So they actually end up giving a kill and a dragon.
Leaves Denial 2-0 open kills, 2-1 in turrets, 2-0 in dragons, and a good chunk of gold to their name. As we've said though, before in this one, Youngbuck is going to be getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Kassadin is going to be a pain to deal with when this game goes on longer. But if Denial are far enough forward on this one, it's hard to see whether the Copenhagen Wolves can challenge.
They've already been using the lead to just push down towers. Like, they just go in multiple members and just clear the minion wave, push the tower. Nothing Copenhagen Wolves can do in response. As long as they're behind and can just engage onto Denial, they just have to stand there and see the tower go down. And that's what they've been doing so far. That's, again, also why they got the 2 towers, especially the mid lane one, which is brute forced in.
Dickus is waiting in this top lane to see if he can get in onto Youngbuck, who has no flash available. Does have a ward in that 3rd segment of the brush though in the top lane, the closest one to him there. So if Kikis actually moves across, he gets a little bit closer. But I think they saw him put that one down there. It's timer very low, so Youngbuck only put that one down moments ago.
Just want the tower. Simple as it is. Youngbuck needs to use his ultimate to clear the way, otherwise his tower's gonna go down. He decides to do it, and the bomb from Nick actually missed.
Yeah, I think trying to get the wave as well a little bit at the back there, which only left 3 creeps to come through. We can see that Unlimited and Amazing coming up to this top lane. We'll see if they can hold off these 2 champions. And actually, they may try and turn this one around. Amazing getting hit there with the cocoon. Despite being invisible, the slow goes straight down the middle of them, missing his target. And that means that they can't chase on for anything else. Nice for Denial, not so for the Copenhagen Wolves.
And not so nice for the Copenhagen Wolves. Invested a lot of members onto this one here. Also the ultimate from Amazing. Counter though, he's still around.
Kikis is just going to walk away from that one. Counter not able to chase in after they do get rid of that pink ward there. In the end, nothing too much happening on this top side of the map, despite a lot of people being on that area. Down in the bottom lane, the wave had already pushed through to the inner turret, so Forgiven gonna have to back away and get farming up there. We've already mentioned about Forgiven that he's a player that always has a big CS lead, usually, just because the numbers that he somehow gets throughout the games are astronomical.
Always focus a lot on farming, and also Copenhagen Wolves is a team that gives a lot of farm to the AD carry. It was the same when they had Reckless as the AD carry. They invested a lot of farm onto him and relied on him for the late game teamfights then to carry. And it's been working for them in some of the games. Whenever Forgiven actually gets to the 6 item point or the 5 item point, it's where he can really start to carry. But we've also seen it fail for the Copenhagen Wolves because teams manage to shut them down before Forgiven gets farmed enough. And that's what Denial has been doing so far, or been trying to do. And it's been working okay. I mean, Woolite is keeping up in CS with him, and Super is trying a hook here.
Doesn't land it though. Close, but did get away. Didn't have a flash though. They'd have managed to lock him up there. That could have been the end of him. Look how low that tower is. Basically, the next wave of minions, they probably could have tanked it up there as well with Mundo, and may even not be able to get it now because the Copenhagen Wolves sending a lot of people to that top side. Forgiven and pushed that bottom wave that I mentioned that was on their inner turret all the way up to Denial's inner turret. Again, not able to get it. The bomb from Nick cleared out as Kiki's here, getting locked up. Are they going to dare to step forward and get the 3 or 4 auto attacks that they need to take the tower?
Just a few seconds is all they need, but Copenhagen Wolves reacting very fast now. They want to make sure they can defend this tower, not like the mid one, not like the bottom one, which they had to give up to Denial for free. So they're sending every single member up in his top lane here. Nick is going to join in with the team. No ultimate yet. Copenhagen Wolves can try and fight.
Hook landed on towards counter, but Amazing dives in. Ultimate from Forgiven as well. That's going to be 2 kills. Can they get any more from this one? But Booney not the target that they want. The Culling actually coming in there, which will force the Wolves to back off somewhat. But this is a 5-man team from the Wolves on that top side of the map. Denial got their 3 remaining players in there as well. Wolves will be happy with the 2 kills that they get from that.
Yeah, very, very good move here. Didn't even wait or hesitated at all. As soon as the 5 member was there, they just engaged onto Denial. Nick was moving, he wasn't nearby, his ultimate couldn't join in, so they knew there would only be 4 members. And as soon as they catch onto a target, they got so much burst damage here. Instant kill. No minion wave though, and we actually see one of the things about Ziggs. He can clear waves in different lanes. He did the same in the bottom lane before. That's why he didn't have his ultimate. And also why Copenhagen had to back away from the top lane. The wave was already cleared. The next wave coming in, no way you're gonna push on a Ziggs and a Lucian.
Now, two champions defending it, so no way for Kautar to push right back in. But look at the Dragon timing here. 15 seconds. Obviously, the last two have gone to denial. Copenhagen will, after that little skirmish in the top lane, will be feeling a lot more confident. Graves' ultimate, the only one that's still on cooldown, but that should be up here. Should they start to fight this one out? There's a bit of a dance around the wards. The pink one's going to go down, I think, before they can clear out the one from denial. They just scan it out and put another one of their own in. A little bit of a ward war over the death brush.
Both top laners up here with teleport. Everyone else is around this dragon. Copenhagen Wolves is in a position to start it. Actually, no. Look here. Woolite is in the base. He's running down towards his team. I don't think Copenhagen Wolves actually know he's not nearby. Otherwise, they would have started up the dragon.
And I think they've delayed them long enough here for Woolite to actually get included in this fight. We can see that Amazing's actually pushing that bottom lane out. Woolite can't really afford to show himself down there to push it back, because if they notice that the AD carry is that far out of range, this dragon will be an easy pickup for them. But they are going to start it off, pulling out the pin.
They need to be careful though. Actually, no, they can go towards the bottom lane and push it up if denial rotates to the mid lane here. So we could potentially see a base race if they get tired of dancing around this Baron. Woolite though gonna clear out the wave. Means for Copenhagen Wolves, they start the dragon once again. Need to be careful. The Pokemon Ziggs coming in. Not bomb missing though, the dragon going fairly low.
He's going lower and lower. Amazing, gonna try and smite this one out. Does manage to get it as well. The repel from Elise comes in as well. Kick is actually stuck a little bit at the back. Will take the lantern away. That'll be the first dragon of the game going to the Copenhagen Wolves. No one really getting too dangerously low in that fight either.
But just as you actually predicted, as soon as Woolite showed himself in the lane, they would instantly start it and take it down. So very fast by Copenhagen Wolves, just waiting for him to show somewhere. In case he didn't actually show there to clear the wave, Copenhagen Wolves could then just rush straight up to the lane and get the big wave onto the tower, maybe even taking it down before Denial would be able to react. So he had to go clear the wave, costed the dragon.
So we'll look down some of the items here. The Zereth's Embrace done for Kautar, so he's been stacking that tier nicely. Still Archangels for Youngbuck, but he's got the Rod of Ages, going for that earlier Archangel as well, getting up to his Zereth a little bit quicker as well. We'll see how strong he becomes, because right now he has started to claw himself into the lead over Babooni, a constant threat coming out from him as well. If you look in the mid lane, as I was just talking about Kautar there, he's just been back and finished off his death cap.
Very key items for Copenhagen Wolves when it comes to the next team fight. Woolite, he needs to complete his Trinity Force, otherwise he won't be able to match the damage from Forgiven with his Last Whisper. Kautar coming around here, Denial, they keep sending two members up here. They want to get down this tower, but Copenhagen Wolves react every single time. And Kautar, he's going to start to do some damage. Still not the same amount as the old Kassadin, but late game, he will hurt.
And what was it, Kevin? I asked him out of 10, and he said old Kassadin was a 10 out of 10 and new Kassadin is a 6 out of 10. We'll see how that works out for the Copenhagen Wolves. Funnily enough, that top turret, the one that Denial focused on first, is the only outer turret that is still left standing. Shows you how much attention, mainly from the Wolves, has been put in there. They've always had one man more. Also picking up their single 2 kills as well. And that top side as the hook's going to come out. Youngbuck was already out of range. And Babooni, he can't really stand and fight with Youngbuck at this stage. There's a lot of damage coming out from Youngbuck.
This also means we're going to see a game actually where it's going to be more about team fights than split pushing. We've seen a lot of games here in 4.5. It's all about split pushing. You know, you have Jax going in one lane, you have whatever champion Z or something going the other lane here. This game is going to be so much more about pushing down towers and then team fighting, because none of them has like the big split pushing machine who's just going to destroy your tower if he gets towards it. Neither Ryze or Mundo will instantly take down a tower if he wins the split pushing war. So we're going to see more focus on team fights. Should make up for a very exciting game as well once we actually get this outer turret gone, so we can start seeing more movements around the map from both teams.
Kautar has just come up to this top lane once again. Actually, he's spotted by a ward there, so won't be able to take that one. The minions actually doing a fine job of hammering away on that turret, and it's so tantalizingly close to going down. One auto attack will finish that one off. 47 HP. outer top turret, the last outer turret that's left standing here for the Wolves. If we look back towards the gold though, that last dragon and the couple of kills that the Wolves picked up did in fact bring them back to just about 300 gold behind.
Look at Amazing here, he's sneaking behind. There was double pink ward in the river for Copenhagen Wolves, so he's unspotted. Actually goes towards the mid lane. Copenhagen Wolves decided to give up the tower because it was just a one simple hit. And Amazing were not in a position to join in if they wanted to engage.
One thing he's going to do now, though, is definitely come to this top lane because Denial aren't stopping here. This is something that we were impressed with within the opening moments of this game, how Denial really took out these towers. And right now, pushing in again. You do see Kautar trying to steal away the white. Actually, there is a ward there. He dives right into the middle, going on towards Woolite. There's collateral damage coming in as well. They see the hails coming out. Amazing. Has to pop his ultimate. The Cullen actually doing a load of damage there from the back, and the Wolves all flashing away from this fight. They don't want to keep going. The cocoon doesn't quite land. And if you look at the health bars between the two teams, Denial doing so much more in that fight.
Yeah, the Copenhagen Wolves decided to chase up here. There was the calling from Woolite, there was the ultimate from Nick. Every single member just ran right into it, took so much damage, simply because Woolite at first was overextended and they saw him, so they engaged. They went so hungry for him. Everyone chased towards him, but he flashed away. He got the summoner heal, he survived it, and everyone just continued to chase him and went through every single member of Denial and took a lot of damage for it.
Double summoner heal. The wish, of course, for Unlimited was used. Forgiven used his summoner heal as well. That was a big fight. Actually, Youngblood did just teleport up into their own jungle by the blue buff, see if he could get in around the side of Denial. It was slightly strange, but I mean, it would have been possibly more effective if they'd not got a ward by the white that I mentioned earlier on, the one that Kautar was stood on top of as he rift walked straight into the middle of the team. So no teleport for quite a while here for Youngblood. Obviously going to the ward is not the ideal scenario when it comes to teleport these days.
Nope. Nick though taking some damage. Needs to take the lantern away. Copenhagen Wolves now putting some pressure, but that's only two members in the mid lane. And both Ziggs and Elise is nearby. They actually decide to walk away from Kiki's side here. Doesn't even need to be there to defend for Ziggs. Very strong wave clear. And Copenhagen Wolves backs away. Dragon is going to be the next big thing, up in 26 seconds. And the Copenhagen Wolves then need to rotate Forgiven and Unlimited away from this top lane, down to the bottom lane. There's teleport ready on Baboonia, so he will be able to join in. Forgiven and Unlimited, of course, won't be.
Too far away from that one. Well, Woolite not exactly close in either, so looks like this dragon won't be going straight down from the spawn, or will it? Amazing is actually in the back of that dragon pit, so he's playing human ward for now. And look at Kautar's position, actually gone through the tri-bush. Woolite needs to be real careful there in case he decides to jump straight on top of him. And Copenhagen Wolves actually forcing themselves into the better position. One thing we have to keep an eye on though is Baboonia, because he's pushing that top lane, but they're certainly going to go for the dragon. There is a teleport coming in. Half health taken away now from the dragon. Can they get this one down? It's going to fall low. It's going to be Denial that picked that one up. Amazing pops his ultimate. Unlimited is going to go down. Youngbuck is low. He falls as well. But there is Kautar and Amazing in the middle. Kautar falls down. Amazing trying to get those last bits of damage. He does manage to get Nick in the end, but that is a 4 for 2. Maybe one more here. The Culling coming through. No, not got the range to finish off Forgiven, but it's a dragon and a 4 for 2 fight for Denial.
Yeah, again, and a fantastic fight for Denial. They get the dragon, and then when Copenhagen Wolves, they collapse onto them. They just fire the ultimate from Nick, and everyone tries to chase past the front line and just takes so much damage every single time. Copenhagen Wolves are not able to tank it. Unlimited was the first member to go down in this fight. He was in the middle of everyone, didn't even use his exhaust. Denial though, starting up this Baron, it's going down pretty fast already.
Look at that dragon fight here and the steal coming away. Actually, it wasn't even a smite steal.
No, but here, look here, Unlimited in the middle of everything. The first target, Youngbuck as well, a bit out of position. Super Ace decides to flash play him, and then he's going down from all the damage, especially Nick doing a lot of damage, and Woolite from the back. Amazing though, he will pick up a kill here, just in the very last second. There's the hit. Get him down. It doesn't matter though at this time. I mean, Dragon is over to Denial, Baron buff is over to Denial, and they also won the fight, so.
Bad news for the Copenhagen Wolves here. They are, if you just joined us though, in our first game of this best of 5, so still a very long way to go. We saw yesterday, of course, Ninjas in Pajamas versus Millennium. That game going the entire way all games lasting quite a lot. I think the average time was about 55 minutes for those best of 5 yesterday. And we'll see how far this one goes, because up until now, very, very close game. DNL showing that they are definitely no pushovers. And you have to say, we've seen this scenario before where the 6th place team picked their first choice and didn't make it out.
Yep, it's like you're hinting something. I do recall it though, and that's the thing. Respect to Rocket back then, respect to DNL for what they're doing here, really showing a strong performance. And Copenhagen Wolves, they need some more time because they need Youngbox to be more tanky. Woolite taking the lantern away.
Going for a fight here, don't forget this is a Baroned up DNL, and Kauton is going to go down. I'm not sure what the Wolves are thinking here. They've not got the power to fight this one. Kick is going to go in, there's the bomb, it's a double kill actually coming down for Nick. Cocoon doesn't land, but Woolite blows up one. He's surely going to finish Unlimited here as well. There is the team sinking in. It was Woolite that landed the last blow. Double kill there for DNL, and that is 4 men down. They're going to take at least the inhibitor,
they can go for
and
this,
they
maybe.
can probably win the game right here. There's 30 seconds still to go on all these members. Baboonia, you see that big beastie Mundo there tanking up both of the turrets. They're going to go down, and DNL are going to win game 1 of the best of 5.
Such a strong showing here, pushing the towers early. They knew Copenhagen Wolves would have very strong late game comp here, but they never gave Copenhagen Wolves the chance to get to the late game, get to the point where Rise and Kassadin becomes more tanky. So every single fight, with all the damage here from DNL, they just piled it onto Copenhagen Wolves and nobody could tank it. Everyone just dropped dead.
I have to say, we mentioned in the pre-game that the Wolves, when they have a lead, have been a team that struggled to close.
Yeah.
DNL didn't hesitate there. They took that fight. I mean, that was a Copenhagen Wolves started fight there, which there's a team that's ahead of you with the Baron on. I mean, that's not the kind of fight that you really want to go for, surely. I mean, I think they thought they'd got Woolite, they thought they could catch him out. The Lantern brought him in, but then they carried on after that and taken down quickly. But DNL, they didn't miss a beat, just hammered it straight home.
Like, first of all, they were ahead. And then when you have like Ziggs, Lucian, Elise, you have so much upfront damage you can do to someone. And then when Kautar, he decided to go for early death cap, so there's no Zhonya's or anything, no really defensive item from him, or at least not something that could actually make him survive. And then, of course, with Youngbox in the top lane, didn't have time yet to get his tanky items either. He only had his Seraphim Brace and then his Rod of Ages. It meant for whenever teamfights actually started, there was no front line, except for Amazing jumping in and trying to survive for as long as possible. But DNL, they didn't even care about Amazing. They just went straight for the squishy targets, and they managed to just blow them up in every single fight. And that's, again, due to the teamfights going in their favor, and then the early rotations getting down some towers early on. They just got ahead, and Copenhagen Wolves never got the time to get to late game.
And I think we all had the Wolves down as the favourites on paper here, and we can't really say that that DNL had no chance coming into this game, because that just doesn't make sense, especially now that it's 1-0. But I was wondering how DNL were going to handle the pressure of such a big, important game. I mean, if you look at the team itself, Kikis, if we take him as the prime example, has actually got big stage experience, of course, was back in Meet Your Makers back in the day, played top lane when they finished second at WCG. It's a long time ago by now, and he still looks very young, so I'm not sure how old he actually was back at WCG, maybe like 13 or something.
I have absolutely no idea how old he is, but I do like his performance here on the Elise, and I like the way DNL plays with it. Early push all around, using the range advantage you have. And as we talked about, they never gave Copenhagen Wolves a chance to go to late game. They did the right thing, shut them down early here. The Ignite on Super Ace was a smart pickup as well to find the first target, ignite him, and just kill him. Ignored the healing from Unlimited, the summoner heals, everything. And Copenhagen Wolves going into next game really needs to look at the Pixie and look at the laning phase and say, do we dare to go this late game comp here again, or are we a little bit afraid of it? Do we maybe want to pick some stronger laners here? Not saying the lanes weren't that strong. I mean, Kassadin versus Ziggs is a fine enough matchup for Kassadin now. And of course, Graves versus Lucian is a skill matchup. We've talked about it. Dexter talked about it a lot. He loves to play Lucian. Oh, he loves, when Doublelift plays Lucian at least, thinks it's the number 1 AD carry of everything. So it's not like the lanes were too bad for Copenhagen Wolves, but just the first team fights weren't strong enough. And then also the fact they got out-rotated on the map.
Well, it is the first game of the best of 5 going over to DNL. Still a long way to go in this one. We're going to be moving into game 2 shortly, but first of all, we're going to check in with Shox, Quick Shot, and Xpeke.
Thank you very much, Joe. Indeed, let's break down that game. Expeke, what did you make of the team comps going into this one? Nothing extremely special coming out of both sides. Maybe the Kassadin for Kautar, but we have seen him playing it before.
Yeah, I actually thought they would play it a lot better with the Kassadin because their setup had a lot of assassination power. They have Kha'Zix, they have Kassadin to go in. Even Ryze can just flash snare someone and catch him, but they never really did that. Instead, Kassadin was jumping in the middle of 5. He was really grouped with his team, so Ziggs could use AoE them all at the same time, and I think they just played the team fights really bad. If they played them a bit better, could have been much, much better.
On the same token, I did feel like DNL's team comp had so much peel and protect. Fighting through Ziggs bombs, getting through Thresh, cocoons landing in your face, Mundo throwing out the briefcases. It was a difficult team to engage upon, especially if you're Graves or Ryze and you got to run through all of that.
Yeah, that as well. I feel you have to play a lot different when you face that. Kassadin has to go in and bait them too. You have a Soraka to heal you and silence someone. So you just go in with Kassadin, slow them all, and the other team has to do something. Either we allow them to catch us or turn on Kassadin. If you do that, Kassadin should just go for Athonias earlier so he could bait them and then fight them all. But instead he was just going really hard. Like he had no way to go out of the fight at all after that.
What's your opinion on Kassadin as a champion now, 4.5, 4.6? Is he still relevant? Is he still as scary as he used to be?
Not as scary as he used to be, that's for sure. Before he will just be first pick and win almost every game. Now, you could see it. He was not a bad champion. He was really good. And I think that everyone kind of saw that he had a lot of potential, but he was always not doing as much as he could. I think in a lot of fights, him and Kha'Zix should split, especially because he went full AP, no Thornias, no Rod of Ages, no HP at all. He should have just split to the left, Kha'Zix to the right, and when they see Ziggs alone, Lucian alone, just both of them jump on him, use everything, burst him, and Ryze can even support with a flash snare Q and kill anyone, and then split and fight again. You have Soraka to heal the poke.
Yeah, that was actually a central element in this game. Whenever it got to a fight, DNL did very well, and we actually have an example of one of those team fights around Dragon. You can pull that replay up because it will illustrate how good DNL was coordinated in those team fights.
Yeah, so this team fight kicks off 29 minutes in. I want you to take note of how close the gold is. It's less than 1,000 separating these teams. 2 kills to 2, 1 tower to 3. At this point, I still thought we had 15 to 20 minutes of game left. But they completely caught us off guard. Let's roll the clip through. Peke, talk me through what you're looking at in terms of positioning from these teams.
Once again, it's not that bad, but they are giving up the Drake for free. All the team leave Kha'Zix and Kassadin alone. And now, like I said, Kha'Zix and Kassadin don't try to assassinate. They are just going in the middle of everyone instead of trying to pick people alone. So Ziggs is just doing AoE, and they still do better than I thought they would do, but the fight is over, and they killed only 2 guys. For 3 and for 4, and they lost Drake, so it's a really, really bad fight. I think Kassadin and Kha'Zix really have to split a lot, especially when Kassadin is so squishy. He never has to jump in.
That also led to the Baron. I mean, straight from there, they rolled up top, grabbed themselves the Baron buff, and ended the game. 2 minutes later, we had to run downstairs because I had no idea that DNL were going to be that decisive at winning the game.
Absolutely, that is something that caught me off guard as well. As soon as they had an advantage, they just went for an objective. They got a dragon, they got a tower, they pushed through. They weren't messing around. Something else I want to talk about is the Soraka coming in here. Dexter said yesterday, I think she's such a good pick. This time, though, in support, normally what she can bring to those long extended team fights, she just could never bring it here.
I'm not a big fan of her. She's not a bad champion. I think she's really good as well. But they had to play really... They need more poke if you want to play her, or something different than that. They had a really setup that cannot just poke that much. Like, let's say they had the Ziggs, for example, then Soraka is really good. You poke them. When they poke you a bit, and even if you lose the trade, Soraka heals you back, you kite them, but they didn't really have that kind of setup. They needed something to go in hard, a Leona, or even a Morgana to try to bind someone, or Nami to go in hard with the Kassadin and Kha'Zix. Yeah.
As an aside, we've not seen Unlimited play Thresh. I think he's not a particular fan of the champion. Soraka was last pick for Copenhagen Wolves. They had other options if they wanted to go that route and wanted to go earlier. I've got a question. Have you scrimmed against DNL much outside? Because they seem to be very decisive.
Yeah, they had the area clear. They were playing good, and I never practiced them, so I had no idea what to expect from them. They play. I don't think they did anything extremely good. They just did everything like consistent. Correct. And Wolves didn't do anything from what they had to do correct, so they just took advantage of it, and you saw it. When Kassadin was going and suiciding, all the team was instantly turning and killing the rest of the team.
So Trevor, what do we take from this going into the next game? We know the Copenhagen Wolves, they had a rough time versus Gambit, and then barely making it, of course, in the playoffs. How do you think they will bounce back from this, can they?
Copenhagen Wolves have the ability to play aggressive early. And I think they're going to need to do that in this next game. If they let DNL set the tempo and control the pace, DNL could do to Wolves what Super Hot Crew did to Cloud9. They can just take the reins, grab control of the game. So for me, early aggression and laning phase in Game 2 is important for the Wolves.
XPK, what do you think has to change for the Wolves?
They have to be confident in their playstyle. They have to pick a setup like they just did and have their ideas clear. How do we play this setup? How are we going to win fights and how are we going to lose them? And just go for what they think. If they think they have to play one way, just believe in it. Wait for the moment. If you think this is not the right moment to go in, just let them take a Drake. What is a Drake anyways? 800 goal, especially before minute 30. One Drake is not that much when you have a better setup, like I think Copenhagen as well had. If they went equal to minute 40, I think they would have managed to just win. Easier than trying to fight early for a Drake.
So whatever they do, they have to do it with conviction. We're going to take a quick breather, but the action continues when we return with Game 2 between the Copenhagen Wolves and the Nile. We'll be right back.
Can they get this one down? It's going to fall low. It's going to be DNL that picked that one up. Amazing Pops is also unlimited. It's going to go down. Youngbuck is low. He falls as well. But there is Coutard and Amazing in the middle. Coutard falls down. Amazing trying to get those last bits of damage. He does manage to get Nick in the end, but that is a 4 for 2.